Once upon a time, there was a young prince who lived in a big castle with his family. The prince was handsome and admired by everyone. However, one day, he made a terrible mistake. While walking near the castle, he met an old woman who asked for his help. The prince laughed at her and refused. What he did not know was that the old woman was a witch in disguise. She became very angry and decided to punish him for his unkindness. With a wave of her hand, she cast a spell on the prince, turning him into a small green frog. The prince was shocked when he realized what had happened to him. He looked down at his hands and saw green, webbed fingers. He tried to speak, but his voice sounded like a croak. The witch said, "You will remain a frog forever unless a princess kisses you. Only then will the spell be broken." The prince felt hopeless. Who would ever kiss a frog, he thought. The witch disappeared, leaving the prince alone. He hopped away from the castle and found a small pond in the middle of a dark forest. The prince began his new life as a frog, but it was not easy. He missed his family and the comfort of the castle. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. The prince spent his days sitting by the pond, thinking about his mistake. He wished he could go back in time and help the old woman. If I ever get the chance to be human again, he thought, I will be kind and helpful to everyone. But no princess ever came to the forest, and the prince started to lose hope. Far away from the forest, there was a young princess named Lily. She was kind and loved exploring the outdoors. One sunny afternoon, Princess Lily decided to take a walk in the forest near her palace. She wandered deeper into the forest than she had ever been before. The trees were tall, and the air was fresh. After walking for a long time, Lily became tired. She sat down near a pond to rest. As she was enjoying the peace and quiet, she noticed a small frog sitting on a rock, staring at her. To Lily's surprise, the frog began to speak. "Hello, Princess Lily," the frog said in a soft voice. Lily jumped back in shock. She had never seen or heard a talking frog before. She asked, "How do you know my name? And how can you talk?" The frog replied, "I am not just a frog. I am a prince who was cursed by a witch. I need your help to break the spell." Lily did not believe him at first. She laughed and said, "A prince? That is impossible." But the frog looked so sad that she decided to listen to his story. The frog explained everything. He told Lily about the witch, the spell, and how only a princess's kiss could save him. Lily thought for a moment. If I kiss this frog and he is lying, I will feel foolish, she thought. But if he is telling the truth, I can help him. Finally, she said, "All right, I will help you. But if this is a trick, I will never forgive you." The frog promised, "I am not lying. Please trust me." Lily leaned closer, closed her eyes, and gently kissed the frog on the head. The moment Lily kissed the frog, something magical happened. A bright light surrounded the frog, and he began to change. His small green body grew taller and stronger. His webbed hands turned into human hands, and his face became that of a handsome young man. Lily stepped back in amazement as the frog completely disappeared. In his place stood the prince, dressed in royal clothes and smiling warmly at her. "Thank you, Princess Lily," the prince said. "You have saved me and broken the spell." Lily was shocked but also happy. She asked, "Are you really a prince? How did this happen to you?" The prince told her the whole story, from his mistake with the old woman to his lonely days as a frog. He said, "I have learned a great lesson. I will never be unkind or selfish again. Your kindness has given me a second chance." Lily smiled and said, "Everyone deserves a second chance if they are willing to change." The prince was grateful and said, "You are a true princess, not just in title but in heart." The prince then asked Lily, "Will you come with me to my castle? I want to introduce you to my family. They will be so happy to meet the princess who saved me." Lily agreed, and together, they walked through the forest. The journey was long, but they enjoyed each other's company. The prince told Lily funny stories about his time as a frog, and Lily shared her adventures in the forest. By the time they reached the castle, they had become good friends. When they arrived at the castle, the prince's family could not believe their eyes. They had thought the prince was lost forever. His parents, the king and queen, hugged him tightly and cried tears of joy. The prince introduced Lily to them and said, "This brave princess saved me. She broke the witch's spell with her kindness." The king and queen were very thankful to Lily. They invited her to stay at the castle for as long as she liked. Lily felt welcomed and decided to stay for a while. Over the next few days, Princess Lily and the prince spent a lot of time together. The prince showed Lily the beautiful gardens of the castle, full of colorful flowers and fountains. He also taught her how to ride a horse, and they laughed as they raced each other across the fields. Lily enjoyed her stay at the castle. She loved talking to the prince and learning about his life before the spell. The prince, too, was happy. He had found not just a savior but also a true friend in Lily. One day, while walking in the castle garden, the prince said, "Lily, you have shown me the importance of kindness. I was a selfish person before, but now I understand how to care for others." Lily smiled and said, "It takes courage to admit your mistakes and grow from them. You are a better person now." The prince felt grateful for Lily's words. He said, "Meeting you has changed my life. I will always remember what you did for me." Lily felt happy knowing she had made a difference. On the night of the ball, Lily wore a beautiful gown, and the prince wore his royal suit. Together, they greeted the guests and shared the story of how the curse was broken. Everyone cheered for the brave princess who saved the prince. The king and queen admired Lily for her bravery and kindness. They decided to host a grand ball to celebrate the prince's return and to honor Lily. People from all over the kingdom were invited. The castle was decorated with lights and flowers, and musicians played joyful songs. During the ball, the prince asked Lily, "Would you like to stay here in the castle forever? You have become a part of our family, and I cannot imagine my life without you." Lily was surprised but touched by the prince's words. She said, "I love being here, but I also miss my family and my home. I will always care for you and your family, but I need time to think about your offer." The prince respected her decision and said, "Take all the time you need. You will always be welcome here." The next morning, Lily decided to visit her family before making a decision. The prince offered to take her home in his royal carriage. As they traveled through the kingdom, the people cheered for them. Everyone had heard the story of the brave princess and the cursed prince. When they reached Lily's palace, her family welcomed her with open arms. They were proud of her for her bravery and kindness. The prince stayed for a while, enjoying the warm hospitality of Lily's family. When Lily returned to the castle, the prince was overjoyed. He said, "Welcome back, Lily. This is the best news I have ever heard." The king and queen were also happy to see her again. The prince showed Lily her new room in the castle, which was decorated with flowers and gifts. He said, "This is your home now. We are all so glad to have you here." Lily felt loved and appreciated. She knew she had made the right choice. After spending time with her family, Lily thought about her future. She loved her home, but she also missed the prince and the castle. She realized that she had grown close to the prince and cared deeply for him. One day, she told her family, "I have made my decision. I will return to the castle and live there. It feels like my new home now. Her family supported her choice and said, "We are proud of you, Lily. Follow your heart and be happy." One day, the prince asked Lily, "Will you marry me? You are not just my savior but also my best friend. I cannot imagine my life without you." Lily smiled and said, "Yes, I will marry you. You are my best friend too, and I care for you deeply." The prince was overjoyed. The news of their engagement spread across the kingdom, and everyone celebrated. The king and queen were thrilled. They began planning the royal wedding, which would be the grandest event the kingdom had ever seen. Lily and the prince continued to grow closer. They worked together to help the people of the kingdom. The prince showed Lily how to listen to the needs of others and make decisions that helped everyone. Lily shared her ideas for making the kingdom more beautiful and welcoming. Together, they made a great team. The people of the kingdom admired their kindness and leadership. The prince and Lily became symbols of hope and friendship for everyone. On their wedding day, the castle was filled with flowers, music, and joy. People from all over the kingdom came to celebrate. Lily looked stunning in her wedding dress, and the prince could not take his eyes off her. As they exchanged vows, they promised to always support and care for each other. The people cheered as the prince and Lily became husband and wife. Together, they ruled the kingdom with kindness and wisdom. Their story became a legend, teaching everyone the power of kindness, courage, and love.